Silayio is a singer, songwriter, performing artist, and of course, she's been part of the music scene for a minute, and she's also an actress. And should I just say she's just all that chocolate and cream?
Jeez. Thank you very much.
Chocolate
I
and
should
cream.
carry you everywhere with me.
Listen,
so you introduce me to people.
that would be amazing. I mean, I could charge just to introduce
was an
people.
Absolute self-esteem boost.
That is
Thanks,
amazing.
man. Thank you.
And if it makes you feel good, that's the business that we're in. Welcome to Spice FM. You know, when we say sugar and spice and everything nice, like you are it. Great to have you here this Friday afternoon.
Thanks for having me. This is how to start a weekend, man. This is how to start a weekend.
I
I'm
love
feeling it.
that.
I'm feeling it. The vibe in here, there's a vibe in here.
I love that.
Yeah,
All the
feels
chakras
good.
are aligned, and I
yeah,
like
it
that.
feels good. Feels good. I'm feeling it.
Oh, it's great to have you here. I mean, you could have been anywhere else on a Friday afternoon. You are a busy woman, but you're here with us, so we appreciate you.
Thank you, baby. Glad to be here.
Everyone on the timeline should be on that hashtag Spice Drive. Of course, we're following Silayio. And of course, that poster just made me feel like it's going to be a great show. And she's here with her filter. And you can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. What are your handles, darling?
At Silayio. And Silayio is Silayo. Don't forget the I.
I love that.
After the Y.
So African. Let's talk about your roots and
Let's
this
go.
beautiful name. Who
Let's
is
go.
Silayio?
Well, Silayio is one of my many names. I
Yes.
am Nilot, so we don't struggle with names.
Yes.
I have at least 5 of my own,
Yes.
which is Nemantalel, Silayio, Kelelwe, Kiriswa.
Wow.
That is my ancestry.
Yes.
But Silayio is what I go by now.
Yes.
And I'm just a girl who loves to sing and be on stage.
I love that.
And I love life, and I'm pretty simple, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, my people would not agree, but I think I'm pretty simple. I think I'm pretty simple.
Actually.
I think I'm pretty simple.
But you know what I love about you is that your energy is so contagious. Every time, you sing or you're on social media, you're posting or you're, opening for someone or doing your own show, the reviews are always, she's just good vibes.
Thanks,
She's just
man.
good energy.
Isn't that the compliment you want more than anything else?
Yes.
To me, that's the compliment I want more than she's a great singer. I want people to walk away from the experience of being with me, whether it is even in my personal relationships or the spaces that I create on stage creatively.
Yes.
I want people to walk away feeling good because that's what I want. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it rubs off. Performing artists don't even realize that.
Yeah.
You can tell, I feel like I connect to this artist more than the other.
Yeah.
It's probably that thing
Yeah.
that you possess, that X factor, that
Yeah.
thing that draws people to you.
Just gotta open your heart, man.
Yeah. Starting out in the music business, you've been part of the music scene for a while. You have mastered the art of reinvention. You remind me of Janet Jackson.
Oh,
I mean, you've come.
That is a compliment.
You've come full circle.
I kind of have, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of have. It's been a journey, but I feel the most like myself right now than I
Yeah.
ever have.
Yeah.
Ever. I feel whole. I feel certain. There's also a thing about being in your 30s. Because I'm in my 30s now. There's something about being in your 30s that's just like, there are no more bleeps to give.
Yes.
I know who I am. I know
Yeah.
what I want. I know what makes me happy. I'm no longer afraid to reach out for it. I'm aware of my insecurities. I know how to. I just know myself, and I'm happy, man.
You've grown into your own. I mean, I just saw you and I'm like, look at this girl, just a ray of sunshine. And,
Awesome.
As a singer, I respect you 300%. Like, it's
baby.
crazy. Whenever you put on a show or whenever you play music, it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
How has it been, taking creative control of your work? And when we talk about the journey, we know how that feels, especially as an independent artist now. But, when you started out in the music business, it wasn't ever the case.
It wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
I think even more than for me when we talk about taking creative control, I think for me the biggest struggle was not necessarily the institutions like labels and everything that bound me, but I was bound more by values that I had chosen at the time and felt like if I do not bow
Yes.
to this particular way of life or to this particular message, or if I do not only speak about this, then I will not be happy, I will not be free, I will not live in shalom. And I don't believe that anymore. And so I feel like for the first time, I don't know who's into X-Men.
I am.
Yeah.
And my little children.
Okay, great. I'm a junkie. I'm a geek junkie.
Yes.
But there's this, I feel like this is the first time I'm spreading like my wings. There's this angel guy.
Yes.
And it's like the moment he feels confident in being himself, there's like a scene where his wings just like fill the room.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first time I'm starting to feel the real expanse of my abilities, or the real expanse of
What
my
you're capable
mind.
of.
Yes, what I'm capable of. What
Yeah.
my mind, my potential, what I can think, what I can do, what I can create. And I'm just like barreling forward,
Yeah.
blindly going forward.
And that's
Yeah.
something you can't buy, you can't train.
No,
You
no.
either get it or you don't.
That's
you know,
true, that's
creative
true.
people get through that phase, and sometimes some people never arrive at that point.
Yeah.
They never get there.
The lucky ones get there at, the age of 5.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But
But it
sometimes
took
there's
me
the
a
late
while.
bloomers.
Yes, that's how
But
I
the
feel.
most important thing is that you get there.
That you get
And I
there.
love that you pointed out that it's not the institution,
No.
it's not the audience, it's not anything. It's just this thing.
It's most of the time when you are bound, really, or when you are limited, the true boundaries are the ones you've created for yourself. Because I think my previous world, I call it my previous world, where I existed and existed creatively before,
Yes.
might have been okay with all the stuff I wanted to do, but I was convinced, out of fear, that to belong, I had to be a certain way. And I
Yes.
had to talk and speak and act in a certain way.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I have ever shown this city, this country, my full self. And so I hope you're all ready, baby.
Listen, first of all, when I saw you do your thing outside this
yeah.
country, I was like, do we know her at all?
Yeah,
Do we know her at all?
Honestly, there's a liberation stepping out of home.
Yes.
Where people don't know you and have no expectations. I feel like,
Right.
yeah, our industry is people driven. You've got to impress the people. The people have to love you. And so I feel like I introduced myself in a particular way to the audiences in Kenya, in Nairobi. And they just like were committed to this. We're like, so you stay inside that.
This
box,
is what
you
we want
lady.
you to be.
This is who we want you to be. But then when I travel, when I tour, because I do a lot of touring,
Yes.
nobody knows me. So I can do anything.
It's a
And
brand new script.
It's a brand new script. It's no script. That's what it is. It's no script at
Yeah.
all. So it was very easy to step into those spaces outside of the country. Well, now I will step into whatever space I want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's interesting that you say that because when, the industry or industry players, let me call them that, especially press, they can create a narrative around what they think an artist should be. And then next thing you know, you're not even in charge of who you
I was
are
not in charge.
as an artist.
I was not
Then
in
now you're
charge.
trying to follow through with the perception that has been created of who you are, and you're still trying to balance that as an artist. You're thinking, well, that's not all I've got.
Yeah.
So I think also it's a
hard,
challenge,
man.
but
It
it's a
is.
good challenge
Yeah.
to test the new waters and try things differently outside.
Yeah.
And then there you can get to be a Silayio.
You can. I feel like you can get to be exactly and completely whatever it is that God desires of you, and
Yes.
whatever it is whatever the divine is birthing inside of you, you can be that completely when you step out of the script. And sometimes you're not even aware
Of it.
that you're living according to a script, or that you're committing your life to a script.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
Yes.
just thought I'm doing the right thing. That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
And it took, a couple of years of some tough times and like real depression. And I had to wrestle with that identity. I had to wrestle with my ideas of myself. I had to wrestle with my ideas of God. I had to wrestle with my ideas of the value of humanity to me. And that took a long time because there's some things I had to grieve. There are things I had to let go of to be free,
Yes.
And it is not easy to shed a script, especially when it's been home. Because my script was cozy, man. I feel like the gospel world loved me and
Yes.
treated me with kindness. I don't exit it with any vile feelings towards the industry at all. I
Yes.
felt like I was accepted, and that as long as I walked the script and followed the path, then
Yeah.
it worked.
But you were born to do more, I think, and
how I feel.
on many occasions, even when we'd bump, into each
Yeah.
other at studios and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, "There's something about this girl, I could talk about a boy I like
Yo, you can
around
talk-
this gospel
you can
artist."
talk to me about. You would be appalled by the things you can talk to me about.
Because it's crazy.
I'm cool,
you see,
man.
I'm going to be real with you, and this is not even for radio. It's, there's what gospel artists should be. And I'm sure there's many of them who think that, I could love God, but this is the kind of person I am. I am madly in love with God. I've got a relationship with God, but I want to do a love song. I want to be this. I want to be. And there was a lot of that, especially the mid 2000s, where there was different groupings in the same industry of, the gospel industry.
Yeah.
And you'd find that people are conflicted, but they have to put on a show and sell.
But do you see how upset the audiences get when people step out? I mean, the kind of ish that like Willie Paul received.
Exactly.
When he dared, how dare you? How dare you?
Or what kind of endorsements he should have.
Yeah,
because
this is not where you should be. This is the stage you should be. This is the da-da-da. And I think, guys, this guy is, to me, I am a Willie Paul fan. Huh?
Yes.
Viciously.
Yeah.
And I think it's become vicious just because of how much shit he got. I just think, but people, first of all, there's a lot of music to listen to. If this is not working for you, change the damn station. And two, he is busting his behind, and it's for you. You realize as artists, without audiences, we do not exist. Like, what we are is melancholic poets without artists. You just sit in your room and sing a song to yourself. But without an audience, but with an audience, your dreams come true with the audience. And so when he's in there, he has a vision, and it's not a vision just for him. It's a vision for the place he wants to go, for the people he wants to hear. And it is all for you.
And it's almost like a, toxic relationship with the audience, especially as we started out this conversation. We talked about how they define what you're going to be. And I could see him through his career battle and struggle with, this is who I am. Listen, I want to have a good time. And I think even having this conversation to some, maybe, how dare you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what?
Like
I said before,
we're gonna call you Silayio.
I'm a big girl. I don't have. There's just no more F's to give, man. And not in a nasty way, in a way that has been liberating to me.
Yeah.
Because there are also things I feel like people want to talk about, but because of the boxes and because of the scripts, we won't talk about. Like doubt and struggle with faith and wondering about things in the Bible or in the Quran or whatever your religion is, and your especially for people who are seeking God or who want God. I always want God. Not everybody does, but I always want God, and I always want to talk about God. And I felt like when I was in the box of being my former brand, there were just things I couldn't create space for. For example, people have doubts about things. People wonder about things. But then the church hasn't necessarily, this evangelical Pentecostal space hasn't really created a place for doubt, where doubt is acceptable, which is antithetical to the Bible anyhow.
Don't question it, absorb it, take it as
absorb it and
is.
walk away. The man of God said it, that's it. It's. But now I feel like I've stepped outside of it. Monique, the people who write to me on social media saying, damn, I want to talk about this. This is how I feel. I don't know if I'm right, or I got married. I had a child before I was, married, and the church kicked me out. I don't know who to talk to. I think it's sad because I feel like the rabbi, the sandal-wearing rabbi, would talk to you about anything. And one of his disciples was a doubting guy, man. He's the guy who was like,
And you can imagine being on that stage where all these people trust and believe in everything you say, yet you're conflicted at the same time. It must be difficult.
It creates such an inauthentic space. And I know because in the last few years of my fundamentalist faith, I would say I had questions, but I couldn't ask them. It was never safe to dare to challenge, what we know. This is who God is. This is what church is. This is where we go. This is how we talk. This is who we talk to. This is.
Yes.
And now I just feel like, hey, are you confused? Do you not know? Are you lost? Me too, bro. Let's hang out.
Let's talk
Do you love God and you want to pursue God, but there are things in your life that you're confused about if God still likes you about?
Yes.
Or if you're acceptable or accepted by God? Are you gay and want to talk about God?
Yes.
And there's just no place for you to go? Get in my DM, bro.
It's interesting. I mean,
let's talk.
Audiences are now drifting away from just packaged artists that are perfect and, you shove it in the audience and take it, receive it. People want to experience your lifestyle. They want to know who you are as a person before you start, plugging in commercials and endorsements. They're numb to it. They're thinking, who are you as a person? So it's getting harder and harder for people to hide behind their insecurities and the things that are crippling them. People are going away from labels. People are trying to be independent. So whatever it is, interestingly, in the previous hour, you pointed out that for you, it wasn't even a label. I mean, there's many girls I've spoken to. We started off in the business together, and it's like, I just couldn't do this, and I just couldn't do, and that came in the way of my career.
Yeah.
I never quite made it. Silayio, you represent the Phoenix.
Oh, damn. I got goosebumps.
It's like you've got like 10 lives. It's not 9 lives, like 10 lives.
I think, I don't use my old name anymore, which is Nemantalel.
Yes.
But my name is Grace. And I really feel like I have been led throughout my entire life by just second chance after second chance after that. I have a song called Rise Again, and one of the lines is, second chances are blowing in the wind. There is always the opportunity to start again. You could be 50, you could be 15. If you're truly pursuing your authentic self, just keep doing it. Just
do it.
Just do it, man. just life is so brief. Listen, Monique, life is so brief, whether or not you believe in eternity. This life, this version of existence right now, with this body, with this friends, with this family,
all fleeting.
It's very fleeting. It's very brief. You should not spend it wearing anybody else's dress or speaking anybody else's language, but the language of your own heart and of your own soul. And I think that's true worship. I think that's genuinely honoring God when you are the form and the shape that you actually are. I shouldn't try to be Monique is fly.
We talk about Nemantalel, and then we talk about Silayio. When was that moment where you had a significant shift in, listen, I'm woke. It's time. I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. Because there's people who are probably, grappling with it, dealing with it in different ways. People are drinking themselves away. In relationships, just to fix whatever it is that...
Fill a hole.
Yeah. People are dealing with things in different ways.
I did all of that, man.
Yeah.
I try to fill it with... I try to answer the questions with a lot of things. Without actually grappling with the issues that I was struggling with. But this was... My change happened abruptly. That I can be honest about. I was very happy with my script. Or let me say, maybe not happy, but I was satisfied with my script. I was a worship pastor, which is something I love. I love the church. I love people. I love God. I still love all of those things.
Yes.
And I was a touring artist as well. I kind of had best of both worlds. And then I'm a person who struggled with depression and anxiety for most of my adult life. And so a friend of mine, my Dutch manager, wrote to me and told me about... her sister who was planning to take her life. And it broke me and it moved me very deeply. And she is a gay and atheist, brought up in an atheist family. And so according to everything I've learned, please remember, mimi ni msichana wa Kajiado, nimelelewa huko Jibani. Musishagae juu ya English. Mimi ni mtoto wa Likriswa.
And then look at your crowd.
So like I've traveled, the trajectory of my life has been long. But I was still broken and moved by this girl. And so I started to pray. I started to fast. I made all my people pray and fast. And I was completely convinced that she would not die. Because I kept telling God, the version of God, the little box I had put God in. This is what I say now. The little box. I was talking to the little box I had created in my brain. And said, you saved me from depression. You've got to you have to fix her. Because she doesn't know your name. You have to be the one to call her. She's atheist. She's never really heard about Jesus. And if she has, it's not in the way that I did, in this loving, open, kind of accepting way. It's probably, she's Dutch. It's Europe. Jesus is not super popular. Or let's say Christianity is not super popular. Long story short, she ended up dying. And it took out a screw from the engine, but a very important one. And so things just started to shake from there. And I started to question everything I knew. I remember my first thought was, I'm confused. How is this love? Because this girl goes to hell, according to the box I had in my brain, because she's atheist and she's gay. This is what we learn. This is what we believe. This is it. It felt very wrong. I have a loving father who has 5 children. It felt to me like what I was being told was, this is my dad. My dad is like, what? Okay, you guys, kind of like you all. I mean, I made all of you. But really, Zawadi, who is my sister, she's the one I want. So the rest of you, not only am I kicking you out of home, I am sending you into eternal damnation because you don't speak like Zawadi does, act like Zawadi does, talk like she does. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And that did not feel right within me. And so I just started to question everything. And then I started reading and researching, just like furiously. What is the history of Christianity? And so the whole tower, this psychological tower that I had been building since I was 3, crumbled to the ground. And I was very sad for very long because the closest relationship of my life was God. I remember a particular moment in 2016, very depressed in my house, just furiously smoking away to sort of ease the anxiety.
Yeah.
And feeling depressed and then wanting to turn and pray because that was always my instinct. When I'm very sad, it was like a psychological tick to turn to God and be like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then turning to pray and realizing I didn't believe anymore. That was hard. So I did the atheist thing, only lasted 2 days because I was just like, that's just another kind of certainty that I cannot back up.
Yes.
And so I lived in limbo for a very long time. And so maybe between 6 to 8 months into that journey, when I started reconstructing after the deconstruction of my faith, when I started to think about God again and to yearn for God again, when I'd passed the anger point of the grief.
Yes.
I remember looking at myself in the mirror and feeling just odd. And every time somebody would call me Nema, it would feel like they were calling something gone, something that wasn't in me, that wasn't me anymore. I had this long dreadlocked hair. It just didn't work. I felt like I looked like somebody I used to be. So the name change wasn't even for the industry in the beginning. It was for myself. I needed to feel, I needed to hear, I needed to see what I felt inside. So I chopped my hair off. When a girl changes her hair drastically.
I know, right?
Yeah. She's not playing. She's not playing.
Once you shave it off,
I shaved it all off.
You're saying a lot of things.
And then I called myself Silayio. I didn't change it publicly. I didn't tell my family, didn't tell anybody. But my self-speak became, hey, Silayio. Hi, this person I did not anticipate to meet this. I did not anticipate to become. It was all new and strange and scary, but also so exciting. Because it felt like I moved from a 6,000-year-old God to this infinite creator of galaxies, and it's just unboxable. And there are no boundaries. You cannot say this is where God starts or ends. And it was overwhelming in the beginning, but also very affirming because how I feel now is that somehow me, weird old me, still belongs. Because there's room for me. I don't think the 6,000-year-old God had room for Silayio. But this creator of all that is, the stage set for me to be who I am is also infinite. I can do anything. I can be anything.
And it feels like it was a necessary step.
Oh, absolutely.
For you to get
it was
to where
very
you
painful.
Yeah.
Very painful. Because remember, I've built my entire life around this one identity.
Yeah.
My friendships are based on this. My aspirations, my dreams for my own future. I mean, I was in limbo for like 4 years, guys. I only just recently stood right back up on my feet.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know who to be. I didn't know how to talk. We are those who are born saved. Christian parents, like, I even my language, I had to reinvent. How I form relationships. What do I sing about now? Now, if I can't sing, like, where do I go now? How do I have relationships? What do I do?
And the crazy thing is, you are a darling on the Kenyan music scene.
Wow.
Going through this,
Yeah.
on the outside, people would hardly even notice
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with that.
I do.
And the judgment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, I had producers
that would have broken
tell me,
somebody else, yeah.
I had producers tell me they didn't want to work with me. I had friends who stopped speaking with me. Even in my own family, I don't have to go so far. I was called some really nasty names. The word Antichrist was floated before. So it was, it's been tough, Monique. It was a rough journey.
Yeah.
But I am a brave girl. And I am certain that I want to live my life authentically. And so depression was authentically me for a second, for a while,
girl.
and grief and
Like I would have,
and fumbling, and then you fumble because you're like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I should do this gig.
Yeah.
And you do the gig, and it's like,
it didn't feel right.
that didn't feel right. Oh, okay, maybe I should sing with these people. Maybe this should be my new. Maybe this is. You fumble and you struggle to remake yourself and to rebuild yourself, and it's not pretty. The trenches are not pretty. People only see, us with our faces done and with highlights on our cheeks.
And they don't even realize the half of it.
You don't realize that somewhere in the middle of, a year ago, I was not pretty looking.
I'm listening to you speak, and I can't help but think of the fact that today, the industry and the digital world and the disruption of how everyone has a platform to talk about it, to publicly go through what you go through with an audience has also been glamorized. People feel like they need to put everything out there, and you were dealing with this quietly, and so to speak. The people that would have been your support system, from your family to industry players that were your friends, they were part of the journey. You were doing business together, you were doing music together and stuff. And to think that you can't even sit with them now and say, listen, I'm dealing with this.
Yeah.
You are now teaching me that because we don't talk about it all the time, it doesn't make you less authentic.
No.
It doesn't
not
make you
at
less
all.
authentic because you're not putting up. Welcome
out
to my
there.
channel. My name is Silayio. So today I kind of made it through dinner, and now
I know.
I'm sorry, but I don't
I
understand
just
that
feel
sometimes.
like it doesn't feel for me. I cannot speak about anybody else's
Yes.
journey.
Yes.
It works for some people, but for me, it felt like. I had people. I have people who have carried me. Bebo for the last few years. I have friends and musicians, one of them sitting right here, Miss Ivy Alexander, who just loved me through it and who remained loyal and loving. But not everybody was. And I think the people who do it all out there on social media, it works for them. But for me, I feel like if I have to, social media is a creepy, weird, wonderful world that if you involve that thousands of people into such an intimate conversation before you have finished having that conversation with yourself,
Right.
you sort of limit the places you can go, because now you have to follow. Oh, that's what you think. Or maybe that's what I should do. Or maybe what do you think? And then if everybody thinks one thing, but you think somebody else. If your industry thinks one thing of you and keeps repeating it to you in the middle of a journey, and you're not certain of it yourself, you commit yourself to it, and that's just another script, man.
It's crazy.
It's just another script. So do it. Go into your prayer closet, like the Christians say.
Yeah.
Go deep. Go into the cave,
Yeah.
like Rumi would.
You have to silence
Just
the
go.
noise at some point.
Silence the noise and wrestle with whatever it is you need to wrestle. I feel like the things I know about myself now, you cannot convince me otherwise because I didn't discuss it with you.
Yeah.
Before, right now, what I think about myself, I'm so convinced about my flyness and my value.
Like we're gonna have to hold you back now because
Yes.
you are so
I'm so
strong and so
convinced,
fierce.
But nobody convinced me.
Nobody
I
had to tell you that.
I had to look God in the eye and believe that I am worthy. I didn't even know that I didn't believe I was worthy. A lot of my art previously, when people would say, oh my God, you're such a good worship leader, you're so broken, which was beautiful and valuable in that moment. But I'm like, a lot of that brokenness came from feeling so uncertain about my own value and who I am and what I'm capable of. And especially, I started my career with a scandal. And that told me, it changed how I saw myself.
Yeah.
It changed the value I placed on my own gift, on my own life. I always felt like I am only valuable if I lead a good worship session.
Yeah.
And when I don't do that, then I'm of no use, not to the people and not to God. I don't believe that anymore.
You know,
I
your
believe
journey.
if I sing a song to two people,
That's it.
It's done.
You cracked it.
Yeah.
And some people are probably listening in right now. Shout out to everyone on the timeline. Charlie, I see you. Kevin Aluda, you're saying, shout out to Silayio. Yes, you can follow. There's a Y-I-O there, okay?
Yeah.
Don't follow somebody else.
That's awesome.
Great conversation. And of course, you're inspiring many with, everything is just organic. Like, I just feel your energy is pure. There's someone listening to this and their journey may not necessarily be music, but they're living a life that they would never be proud of if they had a chance to rewrite. They're starting off the year with goals set by family, goals set by perceptions of who you should be, goals that don't make you feel good. Even if you achieve those goals, there's no satisfaction. There's no satisfaction whatsoever. The fears of rewriting, the fears of starting over. You have cracked it. I mean, you come here speaking with so much authority on you believe that there's an opportunity for every single person to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Absolutely. All you have to do is Google stories of people who started again.
Yes.
And people you think, like people like Harrison Ford. That guy was a carpenter into his 40s.
Yes.
Do you realize that? There are a lot of people out there who are starting later than you imagine. And I feel like we idolize youth, it's wonderful. And maybe I'm just bitching because I'm now a 30-year-old.
No. It's crazy. This entire week, which is so powerful, this entire week on the show, I have featured a lot of guests, and the conversation was all about, the Charlton Jonjos of the world. DJ Pinier turned 49, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? And he said it's about, understanding that whatever you put in, you put out.
Oh, absolutely.
It starts to show on your face.
This is it's the universal truth. It doesn't matter if you're Buddhist, it's karma. If you're Christian, it's what you reap, you sow.
Yeah.
What you sow, you reap.
Yeah.
If you're a woo-woo person into the law of attraction, that's what it is. What you put out is what you get. And if you believe in none of those and all you want is data and science, every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Yes.
Like, it is out there.
Whatever discipline we discuss, it will still be the same theory.
It will still be the same thing. Whatever you're living genuinely, whatever you're absorbing, whatever you're believing about yourself and about life and about the people around you. If you believe people are nasty and human beings are generally unlikable, you walk into a room
and that's what you're
going to get because that's what you're giving.